Well, hey, what's up, Water's Edge? My name is Matt Hoover, and I serve as one of the campus pastors right here at Water's Edge. And I want to share with you some of my thoughts on a segment of Pastor Stu's message from this past Sunday. Yeah, we're in the midst of a really cool series called 21, and he shared with us a message on Sunday called Stomp It. And before I share with you some of my thoughts, I want to take you back to a really cool moment where Pastor Stu was encouraging us to refocus. Let's check this out.
I want to show you how to stomp it in these 21 days that we have together. And I promise you, God will take you places you never dreamed imaginable. If you'll do these three things, you might write them down. Number one, use these 21 days to refocus on what really matters the most. These 21 days, use them as a gift to refocus on what really matters the most. I love that scripture. It said, don't be so consumed and exhausted. Like don't get so caught up in the everyday. Don't be so into what's happening around you that you become oblivious to God. I'll say it to you like this. Don't get so tired with Monday to Saturday that you can't get to church on Sunday. Hello? Don't stay up so late tonight that you can't afford to give God the first 15 tomorrow. Don't stay at work so late that you miss another family dinner. Don't scroll on Facebook so long that you miss another opportunity to play with your kids. Let's refocus. And I know that COVID has brought with it a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of loss. But I just feel like there's one thing that we could all appreciate that COVID gave to us, and that is a reminder of what really matters the most. Your relationship with Jesus matters the most. Your church family matters the most. Your family members matter the most. Your closest friends matter the most. Your health matters the most. We got to refocus on what matters the most. And before you rush to get back to the way things used to be, where your schedule was so full and there was absolutely no margin, and you said yes to everything, which meant that you said no to the most important things, why don't you take this time to really focus on what matters the most? In fact, I would suggest during these 21 days that you put into place some habits, some disciplines that carry you through the entire year. I promise if you do, it'll make your life better. I'm talking about the discipline of spending time every day with God. The discipline of being actively engaged in your church. The discipline of being in a group, because we believe everybody needs a group. The discipline of having family time and family meals. The discipline of exercise and eating right. And you put all that stuff in place in your life first. Before you get back to travel sports, before you get back to travel trips and work as usual, before you get back to dance recitals and everything else that consumed so much of your life. And I'm not saying any of those things are bad. I'm just saying they're not first. They're not first. So you put back in your life what's first and refocus, and then you watch and see what God will do in your year. I promise you'll thank me for it later.
And what an important message to hear at the kickoff of a brand new year. We've got to take some time to refocus on what matters the most. I love what Pastor Stu said in that COVID, although yes, there's been a lot of death and destruction, and there's COVID has created a lot of problems and has thrown a lot of our lives upside down. But at the same point in time, COVID has offered a gift to us, a gift of perspective, a gift that allows us to see what really matters in this world and what matters most in our lives. When we strip away the busyness, when we strip away the to-do lists, we get to see what matters most. And as we kick off a brand new year, I think a lot of us are inclined to naturally think about, man, how can we improve from the previous year? How have I become undisciplined, and how do I need to get redisciplined? How do I need to correct some of the things that I wasn't too proud of the previous year? I think we naturally have that mindset when we go into a new year, but I love how Pastor Stu coupled it with what's happening in our world. And not only do we have an opportunity to refocus on really some disciplines and some habits that we maybe neglected in 2020, but we get to do it with a new perspective this year. We get to do it with the perspective that COVID gave us, which is helping us see what was truly important in this life. And I love how Pastor Stu named a few of those things. Your family is a priority. What would it look like for you to better prioritize your family in 2021? He talked about your church family being a priority, something that should matter the most to you in this new year. What would it look like to better prioritize your church family? Does that mean getting involved? Does that mean joining a team? Does that mean getting into a group? What does it look like for you to get better connected to your church family? And I love how he really kicked it all off with what a lot of people realized was so important in the midst of this unprecedented season within our world is our relationship with Jesus. Our day-to-day, our hour by hour, our minute by minute, situation by situation relationship with Jesus. My question for you today is, what would it look like if you prioritize your relationship with Jesus in 2021? If you shifted your focus away from some of those distractions, some of those things that you realized weren't all that important, and you shifted it to really what is the most important thing of all, your relationship with Jesus, how would that change this year for you? How would it change your relationships? How would it change your finances? How would it change your state of mind? How would it change your confidence about the future, your hope for the future? My prayer for you is that you would take some time this week to refocus on what really matters and put together a plan to make sure you stick with those priorities all throughout the year. Why? Because God desires to do a new thing, and He desires to do it as we refocus on what matters the most. Hey, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, 7:30 in the morning, for our prayer event to help you stay encouraged throughout our 21 days of prayer and fasting. And I'd love to see you and invite you to join us online this coming Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a prayer and worship event that's going to encourage you, and it's going to help you, it's going to help strengthen you to continue to pray and fast with us through our 21 days of prayer and fasting. Love you all so very much. Praying for you and your family. It's going to be a great year.